Türbeden bir gün çıktık, yürüyoruz. Bir şey söyleyeceğim ama ismini hatırlayamıyorum. Döndüm, İsmail dedim kendisine. Sonra da gülerek dedim ki, çok gülen bir yüzün var. İsmail'den unutmam, aklımda kalır. Onun için sana İsmail diyebilir miyim? Hiç unutmuyorum, gözlerinden yaşlar akmaya başladı. İsmine İsmail koyduğum beyefendi meğer Katolik bir papazmış.
Su ne demek dede dedi. Bakın bunda ben hiçbir İngilizce bilmiyorum. Ama onun o sorduğunu hissediyorum. Su aşk dedim. Buldum dedi ya, buldum. Ben bizdeki, bunu açıklamak istiyorum, istiyorsanız da silebilirsiniz. İncil'deki boşluğu buldum. Sevgi, aşk dediği şey.
A friend of mine in Los Angeles told me once that a descendant of Rumi was coming to California, was going to teach. And I said, well, where is that going to be? And he's coming to San Francisco. So he said, okay, I'm going to go. So I left Los Angeles, got in the car and drove 6 hours north to San Francisco and went to this house where all these Sufis were gathered. And this woman arrived who had a translator with her. And this woman was Essene Chalabi. I did not know who Essene Chalabi was, except she was a descendant of Rumi. So I listened, and I liked what I was hearing. And I said to her, he said, I've been searching for many years, and I've had lots of great teachers, but I feel like I'm swimming to the bottom of the ocean, and I don't know where the treasure is. And she said to me, because you're seeking, you will find. And that's stuck with me. That was a very important thing for me to hear. So several months later, this is around the year 1998, maybe early 2000, I found myself in New York with this Turkish sheikh again, and he said, I'm going to Konya, Turkey, and I'd like you to come with me. I said, why not? Sounds like a good thing to do, to go to Konya. The anniversary of Jalaluddin Rumi's death, Shab-i Arus, and I came to Konya with these Americans, and we stayed in the Rumi Hotel, which is just right over there. We went to where the mosque and tomb of Shemsi Tabrizi is. And it was very crowded because it was Shab-i Arus. And so we happened to get there early, and we were sitting up in front, and I was sitting in the front row, and on my right side was Nader Dede, and on my left side was Makam Chalabi. And that was pretty amazing. I really had no idea what I was in the middle of, but I was beginning to understand that something special was happening. So after morning prayers, we came over here to the museum. In those days, we could come in early, and they called and asked permission to come in, and a few of us walked around, and at one point, Makam Chalabi took me by the hand and brought me over here to this side of the Yesha Kuba of the Green Dome. And there is a place called the Niyaz Penjarasi, he called it the wishing window. And he said to me, we come here and we offer our prayers. Let me pray and show you how we do it, then it'll be your turn. So he went up and stood at the Niyaz Penjarasi and prayed. And I stood there and watched. And as he was praying, I looked around, there was snow everywhere. And off to my right side was a single red rose blooming in the midst of the snow. And then he came down from the steps and he invited me to go up to that place. So I walked up to the Niyaz Penjarasi not knowing what I was going to do. So I stood there and I started to say words of prayer. So I stood there and started to say words of prayer. And then something happened, I don't know what it was, but I was overwhelmed all of a sudden with, I don't know if it was joy or sadness, but I could feel my heart rip open. And I've said it several times, and I've said it several times that I believe Jalaluddin Rumi called to me, and I felt my heart rip open, and I began to cry, and I cried for hours, literally.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Allahu Ekber.
Next few days I followed either Nader Dede or Makam Çelebi everywhere. No matter where they went, I went. And I couldn't speak any Turkish, and Nader Dede couldn't speak any English. But I found a way to say to him, I need to learn some things from you before I go. He said, I need to learn some prayers from you. I need to learn what to do. And so we went to my hotel room and I set up my tape recorder and he began to do zikr. And he recorded zikr for me. And he recorded Quran for me. And he recorded some prayers for me. And I didn't know anything he said in Turkish, but I understood everything that he said. I understood word for word. Because in the Mevlevi way, we speak heart to heart, but I didn't really understand that's what was going on. But I understood him at the deepest level. And it was from that moment he became my teacher. And he still is my teacher.
Sen de beni, ben de seni bırak da gel. Yola yük olma. Yalın halde gel. Gel. Gel bu mesnevi ummanına. Gel. Bu cihan sulha ihtiyaç. Gel. Yine de gel. Yine de gel.
After coming to Konya and having a deeper experience with Jalaluddin Rumi, I knew that becoming a Muslim was part of what I needed to do. So my family was very supportive. My dad always said to me, you can do whatever you want to do. You can be whatever you want to be. I raised you one way, but you can be whatever you want to be. And so I became a Muslim, alhamdulillah. Musliman oldum, eyvallah, alhamdulillah.
Allahümme salli ala seyyidina Muhammedin nebiyyi ummi ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ve sellim.
So I began to come back to Konya every year to learn with Nader Dede and to learn about the Mevlevi way from Nader Dede. Nader Dede was my teacher and he has always been with me 100%, right with me all the time. The Azan is coming. How lovely. We don't have this in Los Angeles. There is no Azan in Los Angeles. So I come here and I get to hear the Azan 5 times a day, traveling across the city. It is the most amazing sound in the world. And for those of you that grew up with it, know what it is. It has to be amazing. And for me, because I didn't grow up with it, it's even more amazing to hear the call to prayer, to hear the sound of Allah's voice calling us, and where we're sitting right now, you can't hear it on the film, but we're being surrounded by the Azan. Everywhere the Azan is coming and we are being enveloped in the call of Allah. This is çok güzel dedim şimdi. Azan her yer şimdi. Maşallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahümme entes selamu ve minkes selam ve ileyke yaudu selam. Fehayyina Rabbena biselam ve edkhilna daraka darussalam. Tabarak Rabbena biselam.
So that was important for me to come here to experience this, and because to be Mevlevi to me means you have to be in Konya. You can be Mevlevi someplace else, but if you don't know the tradition, if you don't know what it's like here, and to walk in the steps where Jalaluddin Rumi walked, then you don't really understand what it is to be Mevlevi.
Allahümme erham ve tehannen ala seyyidi ve senedi ve mu'temedi ve mekanir ruhi min cesedi بذخيرة يومي وغدي مولانا محمد جلال الحق والدين متعنا الله بسره المبين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد آل سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا ورسولنا محمد.
I don't know how else to say it. It's for me to be here and to have my shoes in America, having walked on these steps here, in this ground, and this path, and in this turbe. I always remember when I'm wearing these shoes in America that these shoes were in Konya, and it's pretty amazing. I don't remember what year it was. It was 2000, probably 2009, 2010. I remember Makam Chalabi called while we were in the Tekke here, and it was from his phone call to Nader Dede that permission came to me to begin to do Sema. And doing Sema was one of the most amazing things for me. I've been asked many times about the first time I ever did Sema, what it was like. And I've said over and over again, I don't really remember it. I remember from the pictures doing it that people took, but I don't really remember, because it was also an overwhelming experience to be with the other Sema Zens, to be making Sema, to be hearing only the name of Allah being said over and over again, and to be turning and turning with everybody. You know, for me to be Mevlevi, to be Muslim, is it's like having the missing part of me come into place. I remember it was last year I came for a couple days when I was here for a project, and I remember I came off the plane and came running here. It was Friday prayer time. It was Jummah Namazan time. And I remember I came running over to Kapajami, and it was packed and there were people outside. And I remember I came running up and sat down outside with the other men praying, and I felt like I was back at home and I had never left. When Mevlana called me here, I found my family, I found my home, and I haven't left it, and I don't intend to leave it. I mean, and I can only hope that other people that hear these words will find a way here, you know, find a way to open their hearts and to find a home here with me and with the other people who live here and who love Allah and who want to learn about a way of peace from Jalaluddin Rumi.
Oh